Hello everyone, welcome back. Thanks for being here. So you're going to be talking about, well, doing my February TBR. I majorly slumped last month. I went into a reading slump towards the middle of the month and then basically only managed to finish 6 books last month. I'm kind of still in it, kind of not. I'm kind of like teetering on an edge right now of going back into my reading slump or conquering it. So this month, the only goal I'm putting out for myself is to get out of the reading slump and try and get back on track. I know that I was doing a 13 book a month challenge to myself. I'm gonna stop doing that because I feel like all I'm doing is just stressing myself out, and I'm trying not to make reading a chore for myself because I feel like it'd be easier for you guys to, or it would be more fun for you guys to watch me have fun doing what I'm doing versus just trying to get content out for you guys. As much as I do like making content, but yeah, I'm only gonna give myself a 10 book a month goal because in order for me to reach my Goodreads goal towards the end of the year, I have to read about 10 books per month, give or take a few. So yeah, but because of the fact that I did not manage to do close to the amount of my reading last month, a lot of the books from last month's TBR are in this month's TBR because I don't like to do the whole thing where it gets pushed back. I'd rather just get these books done because that's what I plan to read. So if you don't want to watch this video, I totally understand. It's going to be kind of a repeat from last month. But the only reason why I'm making this video is because I do have some very exciting news about a book that I am reading this month. So I figured let's make the video even though a lot of the books are going to be repeats. But yeah, so a lot of new things happening. I'm trying not to stress myself out. I'm trying not to make reading a chore anymore because I feel like I just want to have fun doing this. It's the reason why I started BookTube, is to have fun, and I'm gonna continue to have fun and not stress myself out. So, but with all that being said, we're gonna get into it. And yeah, let's get into it. Let's start off with my current read. I'm currently reading Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. This is a adult fantasy book about two main characters named Vin and Kelsier. Vin is someone called it's a group of people called the Ska, which are basically slaves who are killed off if they aren't working well anymore, and all that. They're treated very, very poorly. And Kelsier is, it's not really clear what he is yet. All I know is that I'm only about 40 pages in. He is a part of a rebellion because there is something called the Lord Ruler, who is a very tyrannical an evil person who's ruling the land, and there is like weird shit going on in this, like the sky, ash completely falls from the sky and they have like ash storms, and there's a thing at nighttime called the mist where if you go into it you can go crazy, and it's weird. And also in this world there's people who can consume metals to have certain powers, and people who are called Mistborns are people who can consume every type of metal, I think, in order to have like the ultimate power. Like I said, only about 40 pages into it. Other than that, I have no idea what's going on. This is kind of what I've gathered from BookTube for the synopsis so far, but yeah. Like I said, I'm only about... Did my bookmark fall out? Oh, that is just so great. I'm on like page 50 or something, like 40 to 50. And I am enjoying it so far. Maybe not really enjoying it. I'm finding it interesting, but overall I'm pretty much confused. This is like a 600 page book, so it is not gonna probably go quickly for me. And I'm also kind of nervous because I feel like a lot of people who I trust and love here on BookTube and on my Goodreads are half and half in terms of liking it and disliking it. So that's a bit scary, but yeah, so this may take me quite a while to finish this. This is the biggest book of my TBR this month, and it doesn't look that big, but this bitch is heavy. She's dense, so yeah. Time for the exciting thing that I wanted to share with you guys. I am going to be buddy reading Dante with Robbie from And Is No Stuck in a Book. I love Robbie. I think that he is so amazing. I'll link his channel down below, but he is awesome. He's so welcoming, and he was one of the first people to extend his help when I first started on BookTube, and I've always felt nothing but welcome, and he's a very wholesome person. So I love him, and we're going to be buddy reading together. This is a YA historical fiction, but also kind of like magical realism book about a girl named Camille, and she is recently orphaned. What happened to her parents is kind of like vague. I don't really know. And she's left to take care of her 2 younger siblings, and Camille has magical powers, so she can turn things into money in order to keep herself afloat and her siblings afloat. But as that starts to not work, Camille has to find a way to make money, so she goes into Louis XVI and Marie Antoinette's court to work for them. As Camille goes through that, she kind of realizes that she hates nobles, so she has to leave, basically. And as we all know, that the French Revolution did happen during this time, so it does happen in this book, and Camille ends up meeting a balloonist who she falls in love with, and she kind of, there's a train going by. Let's wait for that to go by. I live near a train station, so I'm pretty much used to it, but sometimes it can be quite distracting. So Camille has to decide whether she wants to choose between her country or her new love, or her family, in order to protect them throughout this whole thing. So I'm really excited to read this with him. I don't really know when we're going to read it. I know that Robbie has a lot of different obligations this month in terms of buddy reads. I'm kind of like, hey, like whenever you want to read it, it's fine with me, because I have nothing else going on this month, so I'm not trying to put pressure on him. But like, we're gonna read this month and I'm so excited. I feel like it's gonna be really, really good. And yeah. Next we have The Fire by James Patterson. This is a third book in the Witch and Wizard series, and this is it's a YA fantasy series about two characters named Wisty and Wit. And they, in the first book, because I can't summarize this book, they get taken away from the parents and get taken to a compound to basically condemn them to death. And as Wisty and Wit are there, they realize that they do have magical powers. So they kind of have to go in between dealing with their new witch and wizard powers, but also trying to save the world, themselves, and their family. Yeah. I don't really know how I feel about the series anymore. The thing about me is that I don't like to give up on stuff. So like, I read the first two books when I was like 12 years old, and I kind of just like stopped reading for a bit and then got back into reading, and then I'm like, oh, I should probably finish all the series from when I was younger. And am I still gonna like it? Probably not, but I'm gonna read it and finish the series because I'm a completionist. So I can say that my expectations are not high for this series at all, but I'm still gonna read it because I feel like I should. Okay, anyway, next is The Named by Marianne Curley. This is another YA fantasy. This is the first book in a series, and this is about a boy named Ethan, and he is called, actually, you know what, I wrote down the synopsis, so let's just tell you the synopsis, right? And he lives a secret life as the guardian, as someone called the guardian of the named. He is under guidance by his mentor named Alcarian and his apprentice Isabel. Yeah. And they are the only defense against an order called the Chaos, who go through time to basically gain control of the present and the future. And the named have to travel through time in order to prevent that from happening. So they have to like save the day by also going through time travel. And it sounds really interesting. I don't really know how I feel about time travel books yet. I read like my first time travel book last month and I did not like it. So who knows? This is quite an old series. I feel like it's going to be interesting. I also don't really know how this came into my bookshelves or what possessed me to buy this book, so I'm hoping that it ends up being good because I feel like I had to enjoy it or want to read it at some point in my life. I just don't remember when it was, but that's okay. Next, we have The Scorpio Races by Maggie Stiefvater. This is a YA fantasy standalone book about, at the start of every November, the Scorpio Races begin. People have to take control of water horses in order to make it to the finish line. Some live, but most die. At age 19, Sean is the champion of the Scorpio Races, and he's kind of like a very closed-off person, doesn't like to talk much, and Puck is the exact opposite of that. Puck never meant to ride in the Scorpio Races, but fate hasn't given her much of a choice, and she is the first girl to ever participate in the Scorpio Races, and she is in no way prepared for what is going to happen. This is kind of like a cult favorite on a bunch of different book communities, and I've been meaning to read it. Maggie Stiefvater is a very well-known author, and she's very highly renowned. I know that I also have one other book by her, which is called The Raven Boys. Well, you probably know it. I haven't read the series yet. I'm excited to, and I'm excited for this book to be my first ever Maggie Stiefvater book because I'm excited to experience her writing for the first time. So, yes, this is probably like my most anticipated for this month, and I really hope it doesn't disappoint me. So, at this point, I'm just hoping to not go back into reading slumps. I really hope that all these books turn out to be good because I am teetering on an edge of giving up entirely and being really, really good at reading this month, so we'll figure it out. Alright, next we have, I need to take this slow because it's a very long title, Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe by Benjamin Alaire Sons. Whew, that was long. Okay, this is a YA contemporary book about two boys named Aristotle and Dante, and they are polar opposites. And no one knew that they would end up being such great friends. They both have to go through a bunch of hurdles in life, and they end up coming out together and stronger than before, and they both have decided that they're going to teach each other how to define themselves as people who they want to be. No idea what that means. This is like another cult favorite. Hopefully it's good. Me and YA Contemporary have a very difficult relationship, so I hope that I end up coming out liking this once again. I'm going into this month very skeptical because I'm trying not to be too excited about it, because I feel like if I get too excited it ends up being a disappointing book. I'm like, ah, well, I give up. So I hope that I like it. Once again, I don't really know where my expectations are set, because once again, YA Contemporary is not my best genre anymore. So, but hopefully it's going to be cute. It's won a lot of awards, so I feel like it's going to be good, but also try not to get my expectations too high. Next we have Uprooted by Naomi Novik. This is a YA fantasy standalone about a town that is surrounded by malevolent woods. A lot of things lurk there that can possibly kill the villagers, and the only reason why these malevolent beings haven't come into this village yet is because someone named the Dragon is a magician who can keep those things at bay. Many people are afraid of him, as he does demand a girl slave every 10 years to go and serve him for a bit of time. And they don't really know what happens in that castle and with those girls. Our main character's name, who I cannot pronounce, and will not be saying it, she is very afraid that her best friend, what's her name? Her best friend Kazuya, because Kazuya is everything that is what our character isn't. So she's beautiful, smart, etc. And she knows that Kazuya is going to be taken into the dragon's keep for those 10 years because he's demanding another girl. But the dragon does not choose Kazuya to be his slave for the next 10 years. And I'll leave it at that. You take whatever you want about that. These books are very hyped. I know that her other book called Spinning Silver is also very hyped by her. And I feel like if I like this book, I'll read that book too. But I am very excited about this book because I feel like it's going to be good. And I like not taking too much commitment to a new series right now. So I feel like having a lot of fantasy standalones is going to give me what I want in terms of the fantasy. But also not committing to a lot of new series right now. So that's also good for me right now. Okay. Next we have Carry On by Rainbow Rowell. This is another YA fantasy book. Okay, so this is too much to summarize, so I'm gonna read the synopsis to you. So it says, I took a screenshot of it. I come prepared. Okay. So it says, Simon Snow is the worst chosen one who's ever been chosen. That's what his roommate Baz says. And Baz might be an evil vampire and a complete git, but he's probably right. Half the time Simon can't even make his wand work, and the other half, he starts something on fire. His mentor's avoiding him, his girlfriend broke up with him, and there's a magic-eating monster running around wearing Simon's face. Baz will be having a field day with all this if he were here. It's their last year at the Wofford School of Magics, and Simon's infuriating nemesis didn't even bother to show up. Carry On, The Rise and Fall of Simon Snow is a ghost story, a love story, and a mystery. It has just as much kissing and talking as you expect from a Rainbow Rowell story, but far more monsters. I don't know, it sounds interesting. I know that Rainbow Rowell has some issues. I have not read Eleanor and Park yet. I do plan to kind of form my opinion on it, but also I also believe that a bunch of people who have come and said that it's racist, I'm going to believe them versus the author. So I don't really know how I feel about reading this book. Kind of been feeling like maybe I shouldn't read it, but also like I bought it and I kind of don't want to waste it on a reading thing. I kind of don't want to waste it, so I don't know how I'm going to feel about it, but if you'd like to educate me about that down below, I would greatly appreciate it, and I'm always here to listen to people's opinions because I don't have my own opinion yet because I haven't read any of her books before. That's my first ever book I remember Rowell, so I don't know. Next, we have The Hollow by Jessica Verde. This is another YA fantasy, first book in a series. How many times have I said that in this video? I have no idea. Once again, I'm reading the synopsis to you because it's just easier. So it says, I'm reading off my phone, that's why I'm looking down. Sorry. You can look at my highlight though. Okay, so it says, when Abby's best friend Kristen vanishes at the bridge near Sleepy Hollow Cemetery, everyone else is all too quick to accept that Kristen is dead, and rumors fly that her death was no accident. Abby goes through the motions of mourning her best friend, but privately she refuses to believe that Kristen is really gone. Then she meets Caspian, the gorgeous and mysterious boy who shows up out of nowhere at Kristen's funeral, and keeps reappearing in Abby's life. Caspian clearly has secrets of his own, but he's the only person who makes Abby feel normal again. but also special. Just when Abby starts to feel like that she might survive all of this, she learns a secret that makes her question everything she thought she knew about her best friend. How could Kristen have kept silent about so much? And could the secret have led to her death? And as Abby struggles to understand Kristen's betrayal, she uncovers a frightening truth that nearly unravels her. One that will challenge her emerging love for Caspian as well as her own sanity. I heard this is steamy. I think that's why I bought it. I like it. So, I really don't know what to say about this book. I'm excited for it. I don't know what's going to happen. It's one of the older YA books that I have. So, hopefully it's going to be good. See, I already talked about all these books last month, so I'm kind of like, what do I say about it now? If you already watched that video, it's like, I had nothing new to say. I'm still excited to read them somewhat, and I'm still kind of like, whatever about it, but I don't know. Anyway. And lastly, we have America for Beginners by Leah Frankie. This is a adult contemporary book about a girl named, what is her name? Paval, and she lives in India. Why did I say that's wrong? She lives in India, and she's secretly widowed, and her husband told her that her son is dead following his coming out story. As Paval and her husband were very traditional, their son really kind of didn't feel welcome in the family after he came out, so he runs away to America, and according to her husband, he thinks that the son died soon after that. Paval doesn't want to believe that her son's actually dead, so she just traveled to America to go find out if he's alive or if he's dead, and whether she can move on or see her son again. So, it sounds like it's going to be sad. Well, maybe not sad because I don't know what's going to happen, but hard-hitting. Sounds like it's going to be important to read, and I'm excited to read it. And adult contemporary is not my favorite thing. I read the synopsis and I kind of was really interested. I read the synopsis and I was pretty interested in it though, so I feel like it's going to be a good time, hopefully. Once again, trying not to put too much pressure on myself. So, yeah, but that's it. The 10 books I'm going to read this month. I'm so excited for this month. Hopefully I get out of this fucking reading slump and I do good and read all these books and hopefully don't hate them too much. I feel so negative today. I'm so sorry. This is not my intention at all, but like, I don't know. I feel conflicted. Anyway, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you soon, and have a good one. Bye.